Hello. If you notice the stream title, it's me. Because who's here right now? Me. Hello, I am Ray. Lumberjack Tim, hello. Ghost Hunter, you were so close. So very close. But actually third. But that's okay, because third is great as well. What tomato? I'm all by myself.
All by yourself. It's gin. It's gin day.
So the stream title is Now You Know Who Really Loves You. And I explained to them that guess who it is? It's me. I'm the one.
You should know she talks about you when you're not around. I'm just going to throw it out there. What's up, Gosu?
Very, very busy around here today. Lots and lots of things going on. But it's good. It's all good.
Anybody need a job?
I'm still eating my Cheez-Its because I didn't have lunch.
Anybody want a job? Recovering from the plague, Gosu? That guy that's
It's
supposed to be
going
over there
around
has
here.
the plague.
Jordan's down.
I mean, I would have done the same thing,
New guy
Tim.
Phil.
I just am not over there. But had you let me know how important it was to you to get those stickers, I would have made it happen. That's nothing otherworldly.
I'm glad to know that I still have some influence around here. As far as
a little bit.
They read my post-it.
A little bit. They pay attention to Jen every now and then.
Jabe and Schlevy are the survivors. And Kyle. You guys just don't know Kyle as well.
Gabe says, I'll take a job. You have a job. So does your sister Schlebby.
Yeah, you guys both have very important jobs.
Ghost Hunter says, I don't know if I could work with so many amazing artists.
Ghost Hunter, I want you this year to believe in yourself.
To do what?
Believe in yourself.
Yeah. There you go. I want that for everybody.
Well, yeah, I do too.
Get up in the morning, look in the mirror, look at that person in the mirror, and tell them how great they are.
You rule.
Because you're great. You're great.
Yep.
I say good morning every day. Man, I try to. I feel so bad on the days where it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, I haven't even looked at Discord today. And I admit, like, today was almost one of those days at 11, whatever it was, 20 or 40. I said good morning, just barely, in parentheses, you know. And then I had to tune out. I couldn't look at Discord anymore. I was I was like, oh God, I got a thing and a meeting and a thing and a meeting.
The only thing I've done in Discord is I posted our menu for tomorrow's lunch meeting, and I found one of our new employees to give her the employee tag. That's it. That's all I've done today.
I literally have to start doing my days along the lines of I'm busy, don't F with me in my calendar, and lock the door to this end of the building. And it's not that anybody else here is causing problems. It's just I don't want to be bothered.
It's hard to focus when
I don't want to be bothered.
There's always
with
stuff going on.
I have 2 colors I have to mix, and I have needed to mix those colors now for this is day 3. Well, day 2.5, because I got them. I couldn't start until Monday after stream. And I'm not done, for crying out loud. 2 colors, taking forever.
Gosu found the Empty Wallets channel. I was like, I know that guy.
So I know these guys. I've seen these people in real life.
You've probably seen Christopher, right?
He's been on stream.
You've definitely seen. Oh yeah. Well, they tried to stream. Gabe and Chris were gonna stream one day when you were gone,
but then the internet went down.
Died.
Yeah, the internet knows what's up. It was like, nah, this is too much greatness in one room.
But then I think did he come back and do another stream the next day, or was it you and Phil the next day? I don't remember. Anyway, you guys for sure know 2 out of the 3 Empty Wallets guys.
Shelby's like, I can be your bouncer. You can just stand by the door.
I believe her.
Like body check people as they come towards my office. It's not the people in the building that cause me issues. right? It's just how busy our company is that causes me issues. All right. I don't even know what we were doing. I think we were doing the gold trim is where we kind of left off yesterday, so that's where we'll pick up. Actually, I need to do a little bit of highlighting on the red on the shield first, because that's going to be hard to go in and do after the fact if I don't.
JP Gray bought lots of Pokemon cards off Discord. Not ours. Not our Pokemon cards or not our Discord.
Thanks for making sure we know that.
He's saying he loves Discord is the point.
Thanks for that random bit of info. Appreciate it.
We love Discord. We have a great Discord community.
We do.
We really, really do.
Fantastic people.
Uh-oh. Gabe said, I can easily outmaneuver Schlebby, so she may not be the best bouncer.
Careful,
for my daily
Gabe.
questions.
She is listening.
I feel like as the youngest sibling with two older brothers, she can probably hold her own.
You've met her, right?
Hmm?
You've met her, right?
Yeah, I've met her. That's why I'm saying this.
Schlebby is like murder incarnate.
She's scrappy.
She's very scrappy. We'll put the hurt on you if you're not careful.
She shoulder checked Kyle in the hallway. See, there you go. She's the right person for the job then.
I walked in there yesterday. She was in there. Kyle was in there. There wasn't a word being spoken between the two of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm glad to see you guys are so chatty with one another.
Were they checking brushes?
Yeah.
They get in it.
And they turned to each other, and they both kind of simultaneously were like, I'm so sick of him.
Yeah. They did spend a lot of time together. You're confined. I mean, even though it's only like a 4.5 hour drive, it's probably enough.
Oh, the lack of love.
Kyle brought Girl Scout cookies. Okay.
Did he?
Yeah.
They have
I
Girl
keep
Scout?
forgetting to order some. I think he said he just brought like random boxes.
Is his daughter a Girl Scout?
Yeah.
Oh. He's a scout dad?
Yeah, Schlebby and Jabe took like this immune protector stuff while they were in LVO, and they're both as healthy as can be. Whereas their counterparts, Philip and Jordan, both homesick. The artist Amelia rating. Thank you so much. Welcome, Raiders.
Whoa.
Hello.
What is going on, Amelia?
Ghost
and
Hunter,
clan members?
Ghost Hunter, it's not cookie season soon. It is cookie season now.
I was going to say, it's
You
like
can
now,
get them
right?
now. Dumping your peeps on us? We'll take them.
What is going on? Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. We're painting this guy. And working through the sketching of colors and about to get the down and dirty going on.
Oh, Gabe took all the Samoas.
Well, Gabe's a horrible person. What do you think he was going to do? They
feel like he
are like
said
on
they-
top of his file cabinet, though, so you could go steal them.
I could. I feel
Hey,
like
Gabe.
I feel like he said though that they have like a house full of cookies. So.
Malibor, what's going on? Hello, everybody.
T-Cat, beards and battle axes.
Amelia, this is the Dark Angels Primarch Lion L. Johnson. It is a model that I thought was pretty cool. We've painted the 30K version. If you're familiar with the world of Warhammer, there is the old Horus Heresy and the new 40K, and this is him as a strapping young lad and him as an old cranky bastage. 40,000 years later or whatever it is, 10,000 years later. But we are Monument Hobbies. If you're new here, we make the wonderful Pro Acryl line of paints and Pro Series brushes and all the other wonderful hobby products that we do. And then we sling it around on models. We just came out with this this neat texture trainer model here recently. You can get this on our store, !store and chat that Jen has done. We sell paint, we sell models, we put paint on models, and then we repeat that process until we lose our sanity.
All day, every day.
Flipperdito, what's going on?
And we hang out with you guys.
Rainer, what's happening, man?
Rainer.
Beards and battle axes all over the name.
I know. It's Lion Fancy Pants, L. Johnson.
Yeah, no, I think that technically Fancy Pants is trying to go. That title has to go to Skinny Jeans guy, the Emperor's Children Primarch, right? I think he would always be Fancy Pants. Lionel Johnson is like cranky old guy. He was like cranky. He was cranky all the time. Actually, it's not just when he got old. When you read the books and everything, he was pretty cranky from the get-go.
Malibor, we have a gloss varnish.
We will be having a matte varnish here pretty soon.
And TCAT, is there a store local to you where you shop for our products?
You got a beef with the lion?
TCAT, I ask if there's a store near you because our fluorescents are out of stock right now on our website.
Yeah, a lot of our retailers still have fluorescents, but we do not.
A lot of the stores will, but we don't.
They took them all.
At this moment. We will have them again.
A few weeks.
Yeah.
Noosh and fluorescents will be back in stock.
No, pretty soon as in a couple of weeks on matte varnish, no. Hoosiers, I've heard this, that I think there are 2 of the Girl Scout cookies that have regional names, that have different names depending on where you live.
Tagalongs.
The Samoas are Caramel Delights.
Yep.
And do you guys say caramel or caramel? I eliminate the second A. Amelia, that's awesome. We don't mind at all. We will take good care of everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate the raid. Welcome. Glad you were able to catch us for a minute. Have a great evening.
Okay, Malibor says it the way I say it.
Caramel?
Caramel.
That's wrong. You guys know it's wrong, and you continue to blatantly be wrong.
I feel like we've had this conversation either here in chat or in the building, that it's one of them is if you're baking and the other one is if it's the candy, maybe. I don't know. Originally, yes. I mean, I've lived in Arizona the majority of my life, but originally I'm from Minnesota. So I think that might be why.
You caramelize it.
Yeah, see? Caramel apples.
Hey, somebody likes us.
But the candy is caramel. Hoosiers is caramel as well. Okay, tagalongs. Yeah, so you were right. Tagalongs are called peanut butter patties, and Samoas are caramel.
Yeah, I thought I heard somewhere that tagalong was not a name.
JP just avoids saying the word at all. That's probably smart.
Yeah, I'm not a big caramel fan, so too sticky.
I love it.
Don't like sticky.
Fuse will get this one. Radiator or radiator? I assume one of those is like radiator or something.
Radiator.
Now the pop and soda debate. So that one, pop is what they call it in Minnesota, but I call it soda here. I don't know. It's weird.
I think you just piss everybody off. You just call it Coke. Oh, yeah, I'll take a Coke.
Well, that's so. My cousin.
It's like, I'll take a Kleenex.
I had cousins in, actually from Texas, who said Coke for everything.
Yep.
You know, and I was visiting them, and his friend was over, and exactly, Ghost Hunter, that's exactly what he said. He's like, his friend was over, he's like, you want a Coke? And his friend's like, yeah. And my cousin said, what kind?
What kind?
And I'm like, Coke is Coke, because this was like the 80s. Coke was all there was.
No, I got Pepsi, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they meant.
Coca-Cola. You're like, wait a minute. Sorry, maybe off screen.
Emphasis
I
on
gotta
the second syllable in caramel. Oh,
I gotta
Carmel.
kind of balance what
like
I'm
the
doing
city.
here.
Soda.
Apologize.
The end.
You can't see what I'm doing.
Pop is a music style. In Wisconsin, it's soda? Really? That's so funny because in Minnesota, it's definitely pop.
All right, what are we mixing dark golden brown with to get the next layer of gold? I kind of don't want to do khaki. I kind of want to make it a little bit. I was thinking about it last night. I kind of want to make it a little bit more yellow. Wizard's butt.
Golden brown. Warm yellow.
I'm thinking wizard's butt. Wizard's butt numero uno. I'm going to put it to work. This weird banana yellow that we have.
Ajri said, love seeing Monument at LVO. We discovered that buying paint and eating it was cheaper than eating elsewhere. It was awesome.
Cheapest
Vegas
meal you
is
can
expensive. But still, don't eat the paint. Awkward banana. Well, what? I mean, Georgia, you can't say Pepsi at all, especially if you're anywhere near Atlanta. Like, it's against the law, I think.
Why is that?
Because that's where Coke is headquartered.
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Oh.
So Wad saying my buddy went to school in Georgia, and when he first got down there, he asked for a Pepsi and had a moment where the whole diner gave him a dirty look. Because they are all Coke all the time there.
I grew up close to the Dr. Pepper plant
Mm-hmm.
in Dallas, Texas, so Dr. Pepper kid.
JP said Liz bought me healthy snacks to have at the store, but I'm assuming a full bag of pistachios a day is not healthy.
No.
I mean,
meant
it's
to
better
last
than a full
longer
bag
than
of potato chips, probably.
It's meant to last longer than
But
that.
it is meant to last longer. What you need to tell Liz to do is get you the individual size packet. And you have one.
No, what he needs to do is go get off his lazy butt and get them himself.
He's running a business now.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
T. Schmidt is scared to open his wizard's butt.
Why's that? Collector's item?
Yeah. Game Delay said, all I know is born in Wisconsin, moved to Utah, and somehow crayon comes out of my mouth as cran, like in cranberry. I think I still say cran. Gabe, were you encouraging the eating of the paint at LVO?
Gabe can't be trusted in public. He acts all sweet and nice, like he has the best interest of the company in mind, and he gets around his people. All bets are off.
Beards and Battle Axes said, I'm out here in Savannah, so we're far enough away that most people don't care. But the closer to Atlanta, the more raised eyebrows you'll get.
Oh, really?
If you ask for Pepsi, yeah.
That's funny, though.
A full bag of pistachios is great for mental health.
I feel like that's like saying that going out and spending all your money is great for mental health.
Yeah.
It still falls under the self-medicating rule. Pistachios I love, right? And so when you get like one of those big bags they come in,
Yeah.
it always seems like it's going great, but they run out of steam for me really quick.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't eat that whole bag.
Remember when they used to dye them red?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know. Probably because the public didn't like them, the brown and green.
Well, that said, I'm not going to lie. The fact that I can never truly have a complete set of Pro Acryl now kind of irks me. Because there will always be a different wizard butt.
You'll just have to have whatever the next wizard's butt is.
Oh, that's it. Talk to the con crew. Straighten them out a little bit. As we said, there was encouragement all around. They kept shouting out, "It's cheaper than the hotel hot dogs and tastes better too."
Gabriel?
Cordell, it's just right now. It's still just on our website. The stores have not ordered them yet, and PK Pro doesn't have them on their order right now. I can see
What's that?
the trainer, texture trainer.
Retailers can buy them. A few have, but yeah, distributors
This
have
is
not.
PK Pro though. So.
We haven't announced them.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to see what production was going to be like on them before we tossed it out to the stores. But that's coming soon. Some of the stores found them on the website because we made them available. We just didn't really announce it. We've already had some stores in the U.S. pick them up. It's a good color.
I said I normally just eat lots of Skittles, and she said that was unhealthy. Gabe is just blaming everything on Shelby. He said, I was just ringing the bell. I know Shelby was shouting something, but if that's what it was, I don't condone it.
I know Shelby was shouting something. Who's the show manager?
Yeah, we so we make all of our apparel on demand now. And haven't really you know, for LVO being small, we just didn't take that extra stock of the shirts because we would have had to make a whole bunch of them to take.
Yeah, it's hard to pick what sizes work.
Yeah.
We typically don't take shirts to shows. If we have hats, we do, but we were out of hats. We've been doing really bad with the apparel. It's hard for us to keep up with that stuff.
Yeah, as much as it, you know, it looks fun, and you see Jason wearing a monument hat, and everyone's like, "Oh, I want a monument hat." People don't actually buy them very often.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's one of those products where everybody says you need to make cool stuff, and then you make cool stuff, and it sits on shelves.
Which is why we don't actually have a monument onesie.
Or edible underwear. Everybody wanted like hobby nerd underwear.
Yeah.
Gabe's in there laughing. That always worries me. When I can hear Gabe's evil laughter from all the way back there in here, I'm like, what is going on?
Game Billy is shocked. He said the guy who constantly wears a baseball cap backwards and doesn't know what fancy casual means doesn't keep up on apparel. Yeah. Well, we talked about doing the pajamas with the butt flap and have it say hobby nerd or something on it. John's Art Hub said, I want my brush tip liquor. You mean the paint liquor 9000? Very exclusive product.
Very, very exclusive product. It's a good color.
How's the pokey van, JP? Did you get it back yet? Have you been driving by the schools?
Got arrested yet?
Oh, sure, Jordan. Oh, you get it tomorrow. Awesome. Game Delay currently dressed in a hoodie, sweatshorts, ridiculous socks, and slippers. I'm not judging anyone's fashion.
Ridiculous socks? I'm all in for ridiculous
I
socks.
used to wear ridiculous socks. Stopped getting them.
Huh?
Then we stopped getting them for you. We could get you more ridiculous socks. For when you wear shorts. Right
Yeah.
now, no one would see them.
Yeah.
Too cold.
Ridiculous socks are for the summer. Summer months.
We make all of our apparel here. So a Don't Eat the Paint shirt at some point could happen.
Yeah, Gabe actually has a really good logo that's on one of our new stickers that we want to make into a shirt. He actually had a shirt design done up. We just have to get the graphic transfer done and all that stuff for the presses.
That's what I was saying. I was saying that that's why we don't take clothes to shows, especially smaller ones, because we make it all as it's ordered. So as someone orders a shirt, we go grab a blank shirt, put the transfer on it, and heat press it and everything. So we use heat press. That's true. I do have Jason face pants.
Yep. Gabe has never seen these. Because Gabe joined after you stopped wearing stretchy pants.
Didn't I share the? I thought I showed the picture to everyone.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Gabe, have you seen my pants?
The best birthday
Jordan
gift
said this
ever.
is looking really nice, Jason.
What's that?
Jordan said it's looking really nice.
What does he know?
We can have comfy Fridays. Can you ship your pants? I prefer not to. I would like to keep them.
What does that guy know? Comfy Fridays. Wait a minute.
I mean, every day is comfy day.
I was gonna say, like, what's the deal?
We make paint, so we're not.
What have we missed out on here? I
Yeah.
feel like every day is comfy day here.
We're not super formal. I mean, we're more casual than business casual on a normal day. So, comfy Fridays are like pajamas. Ooh, Spirit Week. Okay, Shelby, you're on it.
Spirit Week? Like you gotta wear Monument logoed stuff every day?
No, Spirit Week is like each day has a different theme. So like you've got Crazy Hair Day and Twin Day and pajamas. It's like a school thing.
Yeah, but I thought it was school spirit. Like
Well,
you had to wear
the-
something that
on
had to
a
be in
game
school
day,
colors.
yes. Game day, you would wear school colors for
Oh.
Spirit Week, but it's like usually like the week before homecoming. So each day is a different thing that you dress up in some crazy theme, and then on the game day, it's your school colors.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Can you ship
Fancy
your pants?
Fridays.
We
That
ship our
sounds fun,
pants every
too.
day.
What?
We ship our pants every day. I just shipped my pants. That commercial's so great. It's so easy to ship your pants.
Wad said, unless I go to the doctor, I've been in Spider-Man pajama pants since Christmas. JP wears a gray shirt and shorts every day, has 7 of each. It makes it so easy. Jason was doing that for a while. Jeans and a black t-shirt.
I mean, I still do it.
Technically, yes. Maybe it's jeans and a black work shirt now.
Yeah.
though.
I switched to work shirts.
Classed it up a little around.
That'd be classy. I wear welding work shirts. You know? Step up in the world.
Fire arc. Hello, glad to hear you're warming up a little bit finally. I'm sure it's still cold. I mean, it worked for Steve Jobs, so
He's dead.
you might
That
need
really
to find a
worked.
new therapist.
I don't know if you can say that worked.
Right? What do they know? Megalodon. Hola. 49 degrees. Feels like summer. Time for a barbecue.
How you feeling, Jordan? Feel any better? Jordan came down with the crud.
Malibor, thanks for stopping by. And I love that the way you said that. My best friend growing up, her dad would say that every single time we would part ways.
What's that?
Glad you got to see me.
Oh, how funny.
He also called us boys. Like, all right, boys, glad you got to see me.
Like, we're girls.
Yeah. Mid 60s and rain. That's what we had yesterday.
Yeah.
It moved east to JP.
Yep. It was raining like a banshee last
It
night.
was pretty
Or
crazy.
yesterday afternoon
guys
while
heard
we were
it.
streaming.
Yeah.
By the time I had to drive to my meeting, it had cleared up a little bit, but it hit me pretty hard about halfway to Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Dang it. Again, I did this.
Jordan said, feeling pretty good, all things considered. The crazy fatigue is gone, so it's just getting this runny nose to go away. Yeah, JP, those days are over for you. Sorry.
A lot more detail on this shield than at first glance. Seems pretty simple when you look at it.
Are you still using Wizard's Butt?
It's Wizard's Butt and Dark Golden Brown mix.
Oh, okay.
I haven't used pure Wizard's Butt yet. I don't know if I'll go that yellow. I just wanted something that was a little more yellow to knock down the Dark Golden Brown. That's doing a pretty good job. Giving us a nice burnished, or not burnished, wrong word, tarnished gold base that I'm a fan of.
AG John wants to know how you're keeping the dark side of the shield dark. Looks awesome.
Not putting bright paint on it. It's literally that easy. This nice thing about this shield is it has this peak in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And the way it's turned, the light would hit like there. And so I'm really just only picking up the high sides. So just the edges facing back towards my light, right? So the inside of the beak, the underside of the snake head. I'm not at my brightest color yet. So this is still a mid-tone, so I can be a little bit more aggressive even in the dark side here, but I want to set that contrast up so you're seeing it now, right? And yeah, it just gives it a good shape. It has a good shape to it, so I want to make sure we accentuate that. And, you know, part of it's done with the red doing that. And the purple shadow on this side just keeps all of it dark, opposed to from this way.
So
But it has a
JP,
really neat shape.
JP, is your storefront, is it a brand new location? For some reason I was thinking that you guys kind of just were taking over a business, but you're just for sure starting from scratch, like
No problem, John.
brand new.
Keep the questions coming. I always want everybody to feel comfortable with, if you're seeing something you don't understand, ask away. A lot of times we'll get caught up in telling fart jokes and forget that we're actually painting. So always break into the conversation. Feel free. We don't have a goal of finishing models here, so it's really just a matter of you come up with it, drive the content with your questions.
And your questions don't have to be related to the model that he's painting either. So any question you have, something that's been bugging you or that you've been wondering about, or a technique you've been wanting to try but you're not sure how to do it, let us know. We got lots of models over there. I'm speaking for Jason, but I'm going to say that he'll happily grab a model and demonstrate for you. A biotic sphinx. No. We're glad you're here, but please don't eat the paint or drink it. Said, caught a stream and just poured a glass of bright jade to sip on.
Sounds like a pleasurable evening.
We love to hear it. Learned a lot by this stream, especially the Buccaneers color.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, just the other day we were talking about that kind of bronzy graphite. Did it turn out well? Did you try it yet?
Just a small dose of microplastics. You can't stop the paint eating or licking. Well, we're going to continue to try. We're just trying to help you guys.
Yep. This is our eternal give back to
Paint
the community.
is for miniatures, not mouths.
We want you to live.
No, it does not. Don't encourage them. You're a lawyer. The paint might be cleaner than my tap water.
Jeez. Stop, you fools.
Vexing Workshop said, my wife surprised me with an airbrush last week, which is awesome. I was already using Monument Hobbies primer with a brush. Got a lot out of the primer and airbrush video on YouTube. We say don't thin. He said I tried that the first session, but Vince always says thin, or Vince says always thin. Thoughts? So our primer might be a little bit different than what Vince is using. Our primer does not need to be thinned.
Yeah, you really don't want to we built it to not have to thin.
Yeah.
And the reason that you don't want to thin it is because you start to break down the polyurethane in it. It becomes, the more you thin a primer, the more it's just a paint, right? Just a colored paint. And primer really wants to have that extra stick. And our paint has less of the poly in it so that it's easy to clean up already. One of the things I personally really hate about primers airbrush primers in particular is that they gum up the works really quick, right? And so I wanted to make sure we made a primer that cleaned up really nice, was super smooth on the model, right? No texture, didn't clog up details, didn't clog up the airbrush, that kind of stuff. And so we nailed it, but you want to make sure that you don't go in and thin it too much, or you'll lose that quality.
Fire arc. None of them.
What was that?
Fire arc said, which paint color would best complement my steak dinner? None of them.
Well, red meat, red paint. Burgundy?
None of them is the answer.
Maybe dark burgundy, depending on how you're
None
feeling.
of them is the answer.
Maybe dark burgundy.
E. Carlson said, dang, that's looking good.
Do we need to make a rosé? Thank you, E. Carlson.
Azuri said, Monument primers are boss. Don't need thinner most of the time. Just need some dark purple primer.
Yeah, we know. People have been clamoring for it. You see me do it. I prefer to do black and then dark purple over the top of black, because the black gives you that foundation to put the dark purple over that really will make it darker where you need it, even so. So, always keep that in mind, that the black layer for primer is really the best place to start to get those shadows built in, because then you can, if you want to do dark purple, you can spray our dark purple right out of the bottle for that base coat, but in the areas like crotch, underarms, deep shadows, that black is still going to show through when you want it to. So layering over black is always a good thing to learn, but having those as a primer would also help a lot, I think.
They see me gaming. Thank you for the follow, but we don't want you to use burnt red in your old fashioned.
They see me gaming. I too like an old fashioned made with burnt red.
Vexing Workshop said, I think I like unthinned better. It's beautiful on the models. I did feel like when I tried thinner, it got gummy in the cup more quickly.
That could have just been like temperature, humidity. Also, when priming, and this, it doesn't just go for our paint, is any primer through your airbrush, make sure you don't fill the airbrush cup up. You don't want to prime like a full amount. You want to keep your primer limited to just a small amount of primer in the cup and fill it more often. Do a little spritz of water type cleanup,
A. Carlson said, it took me a second to dial the primer in with my airbrush, but once I figured it out, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and every airbrush setup is going to be a little bit different, depending on how well you clean and maintain your brush, what type of brush and size needle you're running. There's always going to be some nuance to your...
Oh, he's in Colorado. 15% humidity at my bench.
Yeah.
John's Art Hub said, thinning is such a funny word anyway, since the thing you're doing is breaking down the binders holding the paint pigments together. I tell people water is bad.
So you're not... This is a tricky one, right? Because it depends on how the binder is made. Binder is a generic term, right? And it's like saying solvent. Right? Water is a solvent in our paints, but we don't talk about it that way, right? We typically talk about solvent-based paints being like lacquers and enamels and, things that use harsher chemical solvents. But water is the solvent. And so the fact that you add water to it is a dilution, right, is the proper term to use. You're diluting the paint. Thinning, opacity, we use all these terms, but you're lowering opacity and viscosity. The more water you add, it has the effect on both. Acrylic mediums can be better. They have the same effect. They spread the distance between the pigment. Water does the same thing. It doesn't necessarily break down the binder. At some point it will, because you will spread the polymer so far that it can no longer do its job when it cures, right? So it won't polymerize the same way. All of those molecules are spread so far apart as you dilute the paint more and more and more and more and more. And by using water, you're correct in that you're not adding any more polymer into it, whereas a standard acrylic medium will have a binder of its own and have polymers in it that replace or place more polymer in between the pigments so that you still get the opacity lowering so you can see through the paint, so to speak. But when it cures, you still get a solid cure. The problem is that they don't lower viscosity. And so when you're going to try to paint thin, a lot of times you want that lower viscosity as you get more confident with things like glazing and filtering. And so water is a big component of that. It doesn't by its very nature hurt anything with the polymer or the binder portion of the paint. It's just when you get to a particular point that certain paints will no longer be paint. You can glaze so thin with some paints that once you've got it on there, if you wipe your thumb across it, you'll remove the paint because there was no more of that net of polymer, the actual acrylic polymer that is the plastic, so to speak, that once it dries holds the pigment in place. It can be spread so thin it doesn't do anything, and you can literally rub the paint off because it had nothing securing it to the model anymore. But it takes a lot to do that with our paint, especially. So, but it really is just dependent upon the tools at your disposal. But that's why we make the glazed wash medium. It does the same thing that water does, but it doesn't lower the viscosity. So the paint feels as thick as it did when you started. It's just now diluted for opacity. And so you want to add a little bit of water to that too, so that it flows the way you want to on the model and doesn't gum up and give you brush strokes and things like that. So there's a reason for both.
Cornelius Cumberbatch, thank you for the follow. I love saying that name.
That's a great name.
Cornelius
Cumberbatch.
John Zartrub said, right, I use airbrush medium if I need to thin a paint for something, and then I'm not breaking down the paint. I don't go past the point of diminishing return by accident.
Yeah, starting with a medium can help a lot. Once you gain confidence in it, you can stick with that, or I use water for everything, unless I'm making a specific glaze that I know I'm going to use a lot, and then I go for a glazed wash medium.
Megalodon, oh, sorry.
But kind of the same story either way,
Megalodon, we are not getting a popcorn machine.
Yet.
Oh, they see me gaming with the old fashioned made with burnt red. Biotic Sphinx said I'm more of an ivory guy, and they see me gaming said, a gentleman of taste. The fluorescent purple is also a treat after work.
What is that, grape drink?
I see you being a bad influence.
Who?
They see me gaming.
Oh.
I see you being a bad influence.
Oh, I get that. I got the reference. They see me gaming. No, they see me being a bad influence. I got you. I got her. I understood what that was.
Climate is everything too. My paints act very different in South Carolina than in Florida or Indy. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Just the other day when it got humid here, it was raining while I'm mixing paint. It caused me so much problem.
I didn't know this. I when I was still a very new painter, I had only painted here in Arizona, and then we went to a convention in San Diego, and Jason was teaching classes, and I was participating in the class, and all the things that I knew how to do, I couldn't do because the paint felt so different because of the humidity. It was crazy.
Yeah, you have to kind of relearn.
Yeah.
That's why understanding more about the I'll call it physics, but the science of paint and how it responds in certain situations is always going to be key, because you can be like, dude, this worked for me last time. We have a customer service calls where people are like, I don't know what's going on. This bottle of paint has always been great, and now it's not. And I'm like, are you in the same place? And they're like, oh, no, I traveled to my mom's house.
Oh, yeah.
Where's your mom live? Florida. Where do you live? Like someplace drier than Florida. And it's like, yeah, you need to find that mix that gets you back there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it may be, obviously you would think the first thing is don't add as much moisture to your paint when you're in a moist climate, because you'll find that if you thin your paint a ton when you're in a moist climate, it operates totally different.
Yeah.
There's times where it just won't dry.
Mm-hmm.
If you put a lot of flow improver in it, it just won't dry, for airbrushing and such. So yeah, there's all sorts of unique situations that can crop up. Usually not sitting in your normal house, you won't find too much difference unless you just have huge swings. Here, because it is so dry most of the time, we get used to the way we paint in Arizona. And then come monsoon season, when the humidity gets pretty high for us, all of a sudden it can be like, I know this week I'm going to have my paint a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It just kind of depends on where you are. Ghost, who said it's kind of crazy. It blew my mind when I saw you guys airbrush with just water or not thinning the paint. Here, I always have to thin in the airbrush.
Yeah.
Mythic Prop said in my section of Canada, I have to learn how to paint twice a year.
Yeah.
Like you can paint one way for part of the year, and then you have to change your way for the rest of the year.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. It's frustrating sometimes, but this is kind of the way it is. The same reason why, you can rattle can prime your models all year long, and then in winter, we get a lot of customer service calls. Your paint's not adhering to my primer. It's because your primer messed up.
Yeah.
It's winter, and rattle cans hate winter. No matter what you buy, what brand you use, it's the accelerant and the way that all of that mix works hates cold. It separates and will not reconstitute in a way that's useful for you for painting.
Megalodon, he's not here. So he clearly doesn't love you guys. He was here in chat a little while ago. I'm not sure if he's still listening as I mock him a little bit. No, he's down. He's sick. Said he's feeling a little better today, but he's still not well enough to be here. And he took New Guy Phil with him. James Iram said, as a newish painter, I really like Pro Acryl because it seemed the simplest to start using.
Yeah.
Velocity across the line, maybe viscosity across the line, was closer than other brands. And other brands tend to have multiple types of paints to learn together. That just gave me a headache trying to figure out what to buy.
I've always hated that, right?
Yeah,
there is a personality to the line of Pro Acryl, and that personality is kind of the way I approach painting. I don't want to ever have to think if the bottle I'm reaching for is anything other than the color I want. Yeah. Period. I shouldn't have to worry about that. In the hobby world, we do something very different than any other art supply end of the world. We tell people that you need specific types of paint to paint in certain ways. Now, if you're an artist and you're painting on canvas, you know that certain types of paint provide totally different results as far as a look. Watercolors look totally different on a canvas than do acrylics. Oils have a different feel and can make them look even different than acrylics, or they can be the same. So there are reasons why you might buy a gouache versus a watercolor versus an oil versus an acrylic. But once you've chosen your medium and the way that you're going to be painting, I'm going to be painting watercolor. There's not 50 million types of watercolor you need to do to perform different things in your painting. Mm-hmm. It's just choose your watercolors. Mm-hmm. And then you paint with a watercolor style, and you change your style as you need. I've always hated that, we get we get customer service questions. I mentioned on stream a while back, because Citadel and some other companies say, here are your base paints, right? So this is a base paint. This is a layer paint. This is a whatever paint, And it's like, what? That's nonsense. Like, that's complete nonsense. If you provide people, and I get it from an educational sense, that you want a paint that feels this way to base with. Your base paint wants to be more opaque in general, right? So it wants to flow easily. It wants to be more opaque, which means it needs to be more pigment dense. It's probably a little bit thicker viscosity, right? But then you just thin that a little bit, and now it's your layer paint, right? Same paint, same color. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And so the entire line of Pro Acryl is built towards, all you have to do is fall in love with particular colors, use those colors. They're always going to do everything you want them to do. Put it in the airbrush, base with it, right? Layer with it, glaze with it, turn it into a wash with a glazed wash medium. It doesn't matter. It's always the color you want. Because the big problem with a lot of that is that as they change their formula of the paint, the color they call it changes too. If you look at lines like Vallejo, they've got mahogany, and then they've got the mahogany air, two totally different colors. Like, not even in the same family of color. Yeah. Like totally different colors. Why is that? Right? Because the formula doesn't accept the same pigmentation the way it did in this formulation. So we just do it this way so that it does. All the paint should feel very similar. There are some that lay outside that. The oranges, some of the more yellowy greens are going to be thinner feeling because of the pigments that we use. And they're less opaque pigments. So you're going to have to layer more in order to get to opacity with some of those colors. But that's just natural when you use very good fine art pigmentation to get those colors. And we don't use a CMYK form of mixing. So in order to get orange, you're not just mixing CMYK like you would with other colors. We're using like an orange pigment. So we can use a single pigment to make your orange. But that single pigment's going to be a little less opaque. But it's going to be pure, vibrant orange. It's not going to be watered down with white and, red and yellow mixed together to get orange.
Garrett's 509. Sorry.
Never seen it around Washington. Yeah, we have a lower amount of stores in Washington, but there's like 2 or 3.
Few, yeah. I just posted the FLGS link. We'll take you to our store finder. So under FLGS, where I typed that, there's a link there. Gartz. Awesome.
Oh, I thought he was saying Gratz. No, it's Gartz.
Click that link, type in your zip code or your city, and you can see if there's anything close to you. We do have some in Washington. Nothing right in Seattle.
But you can find our paints on Amazon. You can find them from our website. You can find it from other retailers in your area that may sell online.
No, they were asking, is it just online or are there stores?
Yeah.
And then, let's see, a couple others here. Bill's here, but he said he's dead. So maybe he's not here. Gosu said, I got my friend converted to Pro Acryl, and seeing his reaction after using another big brand was hilarious. He went from being angry to being happy. He was tired of having to fight against the pots and all over the place paints. Love to hear it.
I'm glad that what we do makes sense to
We're
people.
not getting a popcorn machine.
Because it really was our goal. I mean, even though it's called Pro Acryl, which, we've had some people say, this
like,
paint's for more seasoned painters. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's made for everybody, right? Our paint is for every level of painter. It just makes you feel like a pro.
James Hiram said, I'm also interested in painting mechas and was looking at some other paints that friends have who just do Gundam mecha. I was like, well, my Pro Acryl would do all of this. Plus, if I wanted anything glossy, I can apply gloss varnish.
Yeah.
Even thin it to whatever I'd prefer. I find it gives me the ability to just enjoy painting.
Yeah, I always say I'm a lazy painter, and that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek statement because if I was lazy, I wouldn't spend as much time on the models as I do, right? I want a good outcome. But I'm lazy in the term of I don't want to have to think about the paint very much other than what color I want. And that's how the whole line is generated. Is that we generate colors that we like, that we think we'd use. We don't make paints that are really easy to mix, to get because, learning to mix is going to be one of the biggest things you can do to help your entire understanding of color and color theory. So we don't make every color, but we make very beneficial colors. And then when you reach for them, you always know if you love jade, every time you reach for jade, whether you want to airbrush it, base it, glaze it, layer it, wash it, you're going to get jade. It's going to be color you want. It makes that part of painting so much easier. It takes all the guesswork out of it. I'm out of wizard's butt.
Amateur acryl is awkward to say. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Didn't come off as good of a marketing scheme either. Yeah, we're pretty basic with our naming. I've always thought that, when you're marketing products, it's neat to have a snazzy name and all, but we'd rather have really high quality and as a color, have you be able to know what you're getting. As I use wizard's butt. Anyway. And I'm just kind of sketching in where I want brightness, trying to figure out the armor. I didn't really attack this model with an understanding or a want of any particular lighting source. It's just kind of coming from above and probably more over towards his left shoulder as we put the darkness to his right. our left, right? So we have darkness this side of leg. We kind of get darker over here, blah, blah, blah. So totally forgot about this thing on the arm or the hilt of the sword. So I probably have more gold I should paint.
Ghost Hunter has added a new descriptor to the texture trainer.
What's that?
She's been the hockey puck lady.
Hockey puck. Angry hockey puck lady.
Now it's my axe lady Schlebby hockey puck.
Uh-oh, look out. Your ode to Schlebby? Did Schlebby get her own model and we didn't even know it?
Yeah.
There was nobody really. I didn't have a muse when building the design for that model.
I will not take that personally.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking. I knew what I wanted. I knew the facial smirk I was going for, so it didn't really relate to anybody in particular.
Oh, that's true. She did say she could be the bouncer, so it's fitting. She said, "I'll gladly be an axe lady."
Yeah, that's true.
Shelby, have you? I feel like I've asked you guys this before, but have you done the axe throwing? Gone to the place where you can throw axes? I think it looks fun, but I have terrible aim, so not willing to put anyone at risk.
You have terrible hands?
Aim.
Aim. I mean, it's kind of straightforward and everybody's behind you, so it would take a lot to mess that up.
I mean, if you want to...
I mean, I'm good down for a laugh anytime. To be honest, that's never really been something that was on my radar. It doesn't look like that much fun, but I've thrown axes at stumps.
I mean, it's just a thing to do.
Yeah.
Shelby said, "I have not. I'm scared it would hit perfectly and launch back at me."
Yeah. Like squared.
Yeah.
Faced bounce. You're doomed. This combo is such a good color for what I'm doing that I'm going to start feeling bad that Wizard's Butt was not made in a larger amount this first round.
Said that out loud.
I know.
You are never going to live that down.
No, there you go. What happened?
I was just going to say that, Zambies. We should do it for a team building, but no. I can't be involved.
I can't be involved. It's kind of like the In-N-Out family.
Zambies.
We can't have both Jen and I go throw axes because if something horrible were to happen to both of us, where would Monument Hobbies be?
Exactly. Zambies, have you gone to axe throwing?
I'm really digging that color on the black. It's making me want to darken the green up a little bit, though.
Ooh, a rage room. Now, see that? I would try. That would be fun.
A what?
Rage
is it
room.
the one where you go break stuff?
That's a team building activity. Right there.
That's a team building. All right, guys.
Uh-oh, Game Delay said, "You should feel bad you didn't make more Wizards, but because some of us have already been feeling bad about that for weeks."
Well, y'all had an equal opportunity to win some. Should have talked to the luck gods.
Zambies should destroy an office printer. I'm about ready to destroy our office printer.
We need a new one.
Probably.
We've gotten a lot out of that one.
We have.
That one could move to be mine.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Please kill it, Gabe said.
Although,
Phil, too.
what's that?
Phil and Gabe are both like, yes, please.
Okay, well,
We all hate it.
the problem with moving it over here is I was wanting to buy us a color laser for this side because I know Gabe really needs a color printer for testing designs and stuff. So probably won't work, but we can still use it for something. Backup.
Yeah. Thanks for the hidden confetti in the expansion boxes. What's that?
The crinkle.
We haven't used that for years.
Have they not been using it with the recent
No.
repackaging?
No, because they don't need it in the big box. And
okay.
The base set fits in perfectly.
Well,
in
then
that
what's the
box.
confetti?
I don't know. When did you buy E. Carlson? When did you buy your paint? Then your box is old. like real old.
I'm gonna say that expansion set is really old if it has crinkle paper in it.
You bought it 2 days ago. Not from us though. From a store? From a store, okay. T. Schmid wants to know if you have some kind of stand or holder for your airbrushes. Yes, is the answer. I don't know what it is.
It's like some normal Amazon-ish kind of holder. Nothing special.
It just kind of like rests in there.
It's made so that you can put the pistol grip airbrushes in it, though. So it's not one of those that holds it by the nozzle. It holds it as a cradle kind of a thing. That makes sense.
Jade, I would definitely do that. Nothing beats taking the printer out to a field and going ham on it with a baseball bat.
I've seen this movie.
Yes. I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
EPS forms. That movie gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's like everything you make sure you don't want to do
Yeah.
as a business owner. I don't ever want to have an environment where that's the way people get treated and feel.
Hopefully not. Yeah. I need you Saturday. So far, I think our 3 new people are happy. It's only Wednesday. It's been 3 days, but they all seem good still.
Oh, all the new hires?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they're a little taken aback that I always ask them how they're doing. I walk through the office every day and I'm like, how's everybody doing? How's the day going? What's going on? What's new? How's the weekend? I think it throws people.
Yeah.
I think that most people, I don't think their bosses have spoken to them a whole lot.
Yeah.
Or if they did, it was because their boss was like their manager directly.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we have so many people too that hard time keeping track of who's who.
Well, I was going to say the new people might not even know who I am.
Yeah.
Who's the crazy old guy with the tattoos again? He keeps coming up and asking me how I'm doing. He's the like janitor.
Panic Bomb said my last job turned from normal to office space in the time I was there.
That sucks.
Jade said, I used to go 2 weeks without talking to my boss. It was fine.
Not around here.
We don't want people to feel that way around here.
You don't want that.
But I'm definitely really bad that I sometimes it's like afternoon before I see Ruben, or anyone in production, because my mornings get so busy that I just don't make it out there.
Yeah, production's very isolated.
Especially now that I can't just peek my head in the middle door.
Yeah, we kind of isolated him even more, didn't we?
Shelby said, this makes me wonder what you guys would have said on stream during my first week. Only good things.
You were here. How come you don't know?
Does Jason leave the painted hand on the newbies? Huh? Jason leave the painted hand on the newbies.
What does that mean?
I think I'm misreading it, maybe. Phil said, isn't it crazy to think about how many of us there are now?
Yeah.
We used to all be in the same room together all day.
I asked at the the end of our meeting this morning.
People,
I was like, do we have 21 people?
21 people in this
Are
building.
there 21
not today,
people here? That seems insane.
If everyone were here, 21. Oh, it was a Lord of the Rings reference.
I don't think anything in Lord of the Rings ever said the word newbie. Hoosiers, yeah. I didn't put like the crazy wing things on the backpack. I thought those were stupid. So I left him kind of more normal. But I really do like this model. The armor being different is cool. It's cool in a good way, or different in a good way from the 30K model. But I really do like the 30K. I like the kind of Mark II feel of his armor on the 30K one. I love this banding on the shin plates and stuff. So I really liked this model. But I mean, this one's really cool in its own way. I think it's a nice kind of extension. I like it a lot more than the Gilliman model. I've never painted the Gilliman model because it's got too much frou-frou nonsense on it. So it doesn't intrigue me. I'm like, wow, it's a waste of my time.
Das Fizzla, they some of them do watch, some of them are just too busy. Philip, that old cat, he's homesick today. Shelby is out checking brushes, which is always a good time to listen to the stream. Gabe does all our video content anyway, so he usually watches.
Gabe's always got the stream on doing other work.
Huh?
Gabe's always got the stream on in the background. Yeah. Sometimes during the day, the fulfillment team will have some of the stream going on their phones or something like that. You'll see people poke in and make comments in chat from time to time. We encourage it when people have the ability to or the time and all that stuff. It's just a matter of workflow. Can't let the whole company have 2 hours off to watch this stream, unfortunately.
Oh, and because it wasn't that it was bad English, I just didn't get the reference because I don't know Lord of the Rings. Zambi said, controversial opinion. I think most backpacks on Marines are stupid.
Most of them?
Yeah.
What? Just the concept of it, Zam?
But then Gabe said, but then where would they put their snacks?
Yeah.
Ghost Hunter, controversial opinion. Cloaks on Space Marines don't make sense most of the time.
Yeah, neither does camouflage or, yellow armor. I mean, I guess yellow armor makes more sense because they're Space Marines and they don't give a damn if you see them coming, right? They don't care. They're like, yeah, what are you going to do? Here we are. But yeah, cloaks are weird. It's like a status thing. It's cool if you read the Heresy, because in the Heresy, the dynamic was totally different than the post Codex Astartes time, right? because once the Codex was written, it changed a lot. There were a lot of Marines at the time of the heresy that, you know, there was a little bit more flamboyance and ego, and, you know, rank meant something because they were just not this mesmerizing thing. They weren't these godlike demigods or whatever. I mean, they had the power to be, right? But they just weren't revered like that until after the heresy. You know, before, which is part of the reason the heresy happened, because the Space Marines got this ego, started doing the lodges and thinking that, you know, they were better than mankind and they should have the right to rule, and mankind should be subservient to them and all of that. And so, you know, that caused a big brouhaha, obviously. Then after the Codex was written and all of that, then it doesn't really make sense after that to see like cloaks and things, because there's not as much personality of the Space Marines in the 40K universe.
PK1919 said they can't reach their packs anyway. Space Marine fanny packs should be in style.
Oh, I feel like that's probably a good argument to be made right there.
I would like to see that.
I feel like I don't feel like the Space Wolves are very German, but whichever ones were the closest to being Germans would obviously have the STC for the fanny pack. Everywhere I go, Germans have fanny packs.
Oh, I'm like, well, I don't get it.
German tourists, fanny packs.
No, I thought it was just tourists fanny pack, and the thing you hang around your neck that you keep your ID and your money and stuff in.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is like, that just screams rob me.
And choke me at the same time. Like, this is not going to be pleasant.
Game Delay said, I, like the Space Marines, feel very confident when I have a backpack full of snacks.
It instills confidence. This is your argument?
No.
Okay. I'll let that fly.
JP, I wish I had snacks. I ate all my pistachios.
Whose fault is
I'm
that?
supposed to do that.
Whose fault is that? I'm using a lot of paint today.
It's Liz's fault. She should know better than to leave you unattended with an entire bag of pistachios. Ghost Hunter said, as a regular Marine, I frequently had a backpack filled with snacks.
Right? So I feel like that's a really good argument to be made for the backpacks. Did Zambie's answer, did she like the backpack in general, or just not the design?
She said, I just hate painting them. I feel like they get in the way.
They feel like they get in the way.
Yeah.
They're also the shape that is not fun to paint. The globes for the exhaust ports, a lot of people hate that, because highlighting it is like highlighting Space Marine shoulder pads. It's not fun, and it messes a bunch of people up.
Zambie said, that's like me and Oreos. Can't keep them in the house. Will devour. That's me with like any kind of cookie or. And we always have them in the house. I always have something to eat. 5 pounds of Skittles is too many for one person to eat at one time, JP.
Yes. Correct. I'm going to keep going with the wizard's butt.
Highlight, schmylight, paint it pink. Peanut butter Oreos? I don't think I have ever heard of that. So maybe I have and I just passed on them because that doesn't sound like jam. Ghost Hunter, my Axe Lady Shlebi arrived in one piece. Well, that's good because we sent it in one piece.
The models for the texture trainers are designed to not be a big scare.
Yeah.
We didn't want to have to worry about handling the next one. I'm already dealing with the sculptor with regards to, and the initial designer. The second one, I did the design work along with the sculptor. We were the only two involved in the process on the first one, William Sang. And the second one, William, is sculpting, but I worked with a Polish designer for the actual character design, and I just gave her some really cool conceptual drawings that I did and some reference stuff, and she came up with a really cool idea. So I really like that. I always hate when I don't have enough time to do the part that I love to do, but when you find somebody that kind of, I don't want to say gets you, but gets you, you know, gets what you're going for and can put it all together, oh, nothing better. And she really did a knockout job. But in both cases, the idea is to make sure that we're making that's a security seal. Is that we're making models that not only are great for us to produce via printing here, right? So won't have a lot of pieces that could fall apart and things like that, but that ship easy, right? There's not a lot of do-danglies hanging off of them that cause problems, anything like that. But they still have a lot of really good detail. My philosophy with model design has always been that, you know, you can get a whole lot out of very little if you spend the time focusing on the right details as opposed to more details. That's a problem with the digital sculpting age, is it's just so easy to continue adding details. Whereas, you know, models were much simpler in the I have to sculpt this by hand days, because every detail was an enormous amount of time to add to the model. Nowadays, where it's just a couple of clicks to bring the asset in from your hard drive, changes things dramatically.
Quad Tomato said keeping snacks in an opaque container can help curb the eat it all right now mentality. Out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. But it's not, I don't feel like it's my sight. I feel like it's my taste buds and what they want on it. A Biotic Sphinx said, I'll eat 2 pounds of Reese's Cups and wake up with the chocolate sweats at 3 a.m. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much.
I have to be careful, because if I have a chocolate dessert, and I'm horrible about it, not that I mean to eat it late, but I get so wrapped up doing other things, and it'll be like 10:30, and I'm like, oh, but I have that thing. And if I go eat a bunch of chocolate before bedtime, it's like, yeah, I'll have nightmares.
Really?
Yeah, I know that's when I sleep the most restless, is when I eat a bunch of chocolate right before bedtime.
Really?
Yep, can't do it. I do it just sometimes by mistake.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm like, it's 10:30, I'm craving this, I'm eating it anyway, screw it, I'll suffer the consequences. And then I do.
Oh. Wow.
I wake up in the morning going, I shouldn't have done that.
I have never experienced this.
Yeah, the chocolate night terrors are real.
Huh.
Chocolate is a daytime thing, turns out. They don't put that on the label.
John's Art Hub, controversial opinion, the only army with baby chest carrier on a model, but really it is a Marine on the chest. Try to unsee that in your brain now. I don't understand that.
Are we talking about Grey Knights? I hate that model.
James DeLay said, I now understand that being a space marine involves a lot more frou-frou and do-danglies than I had ever thought.
Yeah, right? Like, it should just be more basic than this.
So in response to the 2 pounds of Reese's Cups, Divanormus said, I think that's called diabetes. Biotic Sphinx said that's what Big Chocolate wants you to believe. CMB said that's actually a real thing. Sugar causes nightmares and difficulty falling asleep due to the energizing effect of rapid rise in blood sugar levels.
There's a lot of noise being made right now that diabetes, in fact, is more attributable to vegetable oil
Oh, interesting.
than to direct intake of sugars. It's leading to a bunch of controversy because obviously there was a lot of money paid to make you think it was sugar. and a lot of money paid into the food industry to make vegetable oil seem like a much better thing than animal fats. Right?
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Right.
The move away from Crisco to whatever vegetable oils were there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big storm brewing.
Vegetable oil is a waste product. Some is from actual petroleum, but let's feed humans with it.
Yeah, it is. When you look into it, it's unbelievable. It's like, ooh, we eat this? But I mean, that's true of a lot of things. I'm a hypocrite if I start going down that path. Like, sure, I'll have McDonald's. What's in a McDonald's burger? Who cares? But that was a big thing. It was one of the reasons why Five Guys was mentioned there. It's one of the reasons why Five Guys uses peanut oil, because it is different than the vegetable oil.
Mm-hmm.
The peanut oil is natural.
Yeah.
Right? It's still not great for you, obviously. None of them are great for you, but
JP hasn't gone a day without fast food since he became a business owner, because who has time to cook?
boy, Jen's been killing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If I can get to the
killing it
grocery
lately.
store, then I can make time to cook. But sometimes I just have a hard time getting to the store to buy the things to cook. So then it's all right, it's the message from Jason, I'm on my way home, what are we eating for dinner?
And we never know.
And then we
And it
go
always
back and forth for
sucks.
20 minutes trying to figure it out.
It always sucks. Good color combo.
Five Guys fries are just, they need to make them crispier.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is
Yeah.
that they get very soggy when you use
Mhm.
peanut oil.
They are good, but they need like an extra minute or two in the fryer than what they give them.
Well, but they're even soggy on the inside then. It's just
Yeah.
peanut oil is not a good frying oil for what
Yeah.
you want your fries to be, I don't think.
Oh, we've done the the meal delivery thing, like where you get the box of food and they send you the recipes for it. I had twice though where they didn't deliver in time, and it's very concerning when it's August in Arizona and you've got all this food that needs to be refrigerated.
They'll show up on a Friday, gets here on a Monday.
Yeah. So, yeah. Plus, finding, because in order to really maximize that, you have to buy multiple meals each week, like three or four. Otherwise, they're super expensive. And sometimes the options are like, all right, I can find these. I can find two that I really like, but finding a third or a fourth is rough. Oh, that's a good idea. Zambi's said she gets extra of the Five Guys fries. Well, they always get extra, right? And then air fries them the next day, and that makes them good. Max Motor 1990. I don't know those words. Is that German?
What does it say? Where is it at?
Right here. It's the first-
Havad Vardu. I don't know these words. But hi.
Hello.
We're doing great. How are you? I would assume do
It
is
seems
you.
like how are you?
I'm going to guess, yeah. I'm going to guess that's how are you. We're doing great. How about you? Lard is still the best French fry oil. Exactly. The articles I were reading were saying, yeah, go back to Crisco and lard if you can. Just, all things in moderation.
Notice that I am not reading the comments that are talking about eating paint. I'm just skipping over them. But I see you.
Monster and sweet tea in the fridge? Holy death.
Blech.
I drink
That's
90%
bleh to
water.
both of them.
Every now and then, like right now, I have a tea.
Water,
All this
Water
food talk's
and
making
water.
you hungry. What about
Coffee.
crayons?
coffee first, then water.
I mean, coffee's just water.
Yeah.
Water with bean juice.
Water. Magic bean water.
Magic bean juice.
Oh, Tim. Tim said, throwback to the other week. I found a girl who likes that I'm getting a grill for my teeth, not to cook on.
Yep. That's great. How old are you?
Well, it's like, oh, Tim and his grill.
How old are you? I think midlife crisis ends.
Something, the paint is ready faster in an air fryer. Something, don't eat the paint. Humor! I drink a Monster and then water, but we accidentally ordered a gallon of sweet tea with our Popeyes. Oh my gosh. Why do you accidentally order a gallon of sweet tea?
That's not a thing.
Did you not look at your order before you checked out? And Tim is 42.
I knew this.
Easy, you order then say whoopsie, like our $2,000 Taco Bell order.
Yep.
Just like I accidentally bought a whole box of miniatures at LVO.
Is that Gabe?
No, it's Phil.
Oh, that's not. Phil didn't accidentally do anything. Gabe peer pressured him into it. So I have a
I said no.
couple of strays on this brush finally that have been bugging.
Oh,
the
can you move it
crap
down a
out of me.
little? We're missing it. There we
Yeah.
go. Oh yeah.
A couple of strays here that are bugging the crap out of me. That one. This is the one that got me.
Tim, you blame Wu-Tang in '93 for your grill? Because we can unpack this and say it's 2024 and you're not in the Wu-Tang Clan. You and Shelby are doing the same thing right now.
Yeah, this has been the test brush that I've been doing for a long time, and it's finally starting to show some wear, but that's a big bonus. This has been a great brush.
This has been really good, yeah. All right, Tim. So
Starting to fray up along the edges. What happens with brush? Oh, there it is. That's the big one right there. You know, with any brush, over time you wind up breaking some of the filaments, right? And they generally break at the point where you paint the most. So it's usually the top, 20% of the brush is where we're doing all of our work. We're painting with the tip, we're edging up here. We don't usually use this part of the brush much. And so the filaments start breaking, right? And so the hairs get shorter and shorter. And because they don't get used in the painting process anymore as they shorten, then they start to fly out to the sides. And because they still may retain paint, then they can get paint where you don't want it, like that guy right there. So I usually try to pull them away from the pack like this, and then put the cutter in between there, bring the cutter all the way down to the ferrule and clip them at the ferrule. Don't ever try to clip a bristle up here, right? Like if you've got a weird one, don't ever try to clip a point back onto your brush.
no.
If you've got a hair that's long, like you might get a brush that has a central hair or one of the longer, because the way brushes are bundled is that the hairs in the middle are the longest hairs. And you may get one that, due to the way it was tied off down in the bundle, might slip a little bit and come up. And if you do that, then you want to cut it. We don't have one here to show you, but if you do that, then you want to cut it, and you want to kind of follow and cut it like this. You don't ever want to do this, because you'll square the tip of the brush off. It'll never provide a point again. But yes, this brush is getting a little bit fuzzy around the tip, starting to annoy me.
But this has gotten a lot of use. So he's been using this brush every day on stream for weeks.
Oh, geez. We started, I think, if my memory serves me right, we started it when we started painting the Gorger mall pack. I think this
That was a long time ago.
warband. So we painted all 5 of these guys. We painted. What else did we paint with this guy? We painted both Captain America and how far we've gotten on Red Skull, right? And the Hulk. We painted with it.
So that's a minimum of 10 hours of painting a week
And then these guys.
for
Weeks, months.
months.
Probably 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? What does that net out to? 10 times 8, 80 hours of painting?
I don't think he did Percival with that one.
No. Percival was done long enough ago that we weren't using that one, I don't think.
JP, you also want a grill? What is this? So, Tim, I have to go back, though, because you said you've wanted one ever since Wu-Tang Clan in 1993. That's 31 years ago, and you said you were 42. So, as an 11-year-old, that's commitment to wanting something. So you do you. And I'm glad you found yourself a girl who is excited about it with you. Never deep cleaned. No, he has not used brush soap on that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not once.
Wu-Tang is responsible for a lot of great smiles.
Yeah, I typically, when I'm testing out a new brush type, right, I typically won't take good care of it at all. I want to see it in its worst conditions. We have multiples of the same size so that I can have one that I beat the crap out of and one that I, do for other purposes and test. We have a bunch of this number 2 that I'm using right now. There's a bunch, or maybe this is the number 4. But I have a ton of them.
JP Gray said, I wanted one because my old, I think that's staff sergeant maybe, had 4 of his teeth grilled and he was super cool and got all the girls. Came to Larry had said I had braces in high school. 0 interest in facial hardware since then. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, people with grills have never had to have braces.
And Tim said it's not a full grill, just 2 teeth. Which to me seems a little like it would be more odd.
Yeah.
But
you do you, boo.
I don't know.
You do you, boo.
We will love you no matter what, Tim.
Hey, that's pushing it. Don't be so committal.
Steal grandma's dentures, get a shaky can of gold paint, and you're good. Well, yeah, we haven't talked about the material, I don't think. Is it gold? Is it like diamond? What's it going to be?
Oh my God. Don't get him started.
Aluminum foil. Again, sweatshorts and ridiculous socks. No fashion criticisms coming from me. Yeah, same game delay. White gold. This one guy on the internet made me want to get a sleeve tattoo, but I still have not done that.
Good. Don't follow that guy's advice. Horrible.
So rose gold, and that was sick. Rose gold, I feel, is trendy though. It might not be, like you might get tired of that one.
Rose gold is something that is definitely trendy. Comes and goes.
Yeah. White gold is solid. Can't go wrong.
Rose gold is one of those things that everybody that jumps on the trend soon realizes how horrible it is. And then it goes away.
Tim said, yeah, tattoos are dumb. So dumb. No one should get them.
Nobody. Poor Shelby came up to me one day and she was asking about tattoos and this and that. And I was like, yeah, don't get any.
Well, she didn't listen to you.
She didn't listen to me. I'm not that grumpy guy. I'm like, I don't care. I just know that a lot of people jump in and get tattoos, for spur of the moment reasons.
Yeah.
Things that seem cool today. Like, you need to make sure it's going to be cool tomorrow.
So rose gold is like really tall bangs? Yes, exactly.
It is very much like really tall bangs. That's a good way to put it.
JP said, I mean, now that I don't have to try and ever get a real job, I'll probably get a lot more tattoos on my face. Do you have tattoos on your face now?
I love the confidence.
Shelby said, I think through all of my tattoos. No, but I will probably get more than 0.
What's that?
JP said, now that I don't have to get a real job, I'll probably get a lot more tattoos on my face. And I said, do you have any? And he said, no, but I will probably get more than 0. Logical. That's a no from me, dog.
JP, please.
People with tattoos are all degenerate hooligans. That is 100% correct.
100% correct. Can't
Hoosier
be
said, my
trusted.
wife hates tattoos, therefore I have 0 tattoos. Oh,
Cannot
Ghost
be
Hunter said, I
trusted.
left the Marines with 0 tattoos, which is quite the accomplishment. I think any time you can leave the military without any tattoos, that's a...
Yeah, without even like a
lot.
unit tattoo or
Yeah.
something like that is pretty strong.
T. Schmidt's wife has more tattoos than he does.
Hoodlum and degenerate. You tell her, T. Schmidt. You'd
Yep.
say, I said so.
We all said so.
I was watching his stream today, honey.
Chuck and Jade are both heavily tattooed. I would have more tattoos, but
You have lots of tattoos, but you're starting to explore
Someone
electronic
won't.
subdermal implants. Oh my God.
someone won't give me a tattoo, so I've stopped.
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. She's got full of lies, this one. I have offered to tattoo her like 100 times.
Let's do
And
it
she's
right
always
now.
like, I'm scared.
Let's do it right now.
Called my bluff.
It's all over there.
The equipment's over there.
it's
You
in
do
the
not
other-
want me to tattoo you with those needles.
Huh?
You do not want me to tattoo you with those needles. If we walked over there, all
I
the needles
know.
I have,
They're all rusty.
all the packs are probably open.
Yeah. No, we looked at it and, you know,
My machines are still good,
yeah.
right? But I haven't tattooed in years, so we probably want to practice on JP Gray first.
Tattoo stream? We've talked about it since the beginning of time. Gabe said he'll take his chances. Sounds like a memory. Way to make a memory. Company tattoo day.
Uh-oh. What have I started?
I mean, that's a team building activity right there.
That is a hell of a team building activity. You're like, yeah, so about that.
John's Art Hub said that's what pork shoulder is for. Practice. Tim said you can practice on his face. How about that?
Nope.
Yep,
Nope.
JP was promised that he would get one after I got one. We're all still waiting.
I am a conscientious tattoo artist. I always recommend not getting stupid place tattoos.
Everyone gets a happy face on their big toe. That would be a fun little matchy thing that we can all do.
Yeah.
Add that to the employee handbook.
Kudos to whoever goes first.
Vexing Workshop said I apprenticed for a bit in the 90s but moved on. The last tattoo I gave was to my girlfriend. We're celebrating 25 years of marriage in the spring. That's awesome.
Awesome story.
Now, was she your girlfriend when you tattooed her, or did you guys meet through the tattooing? Tim said he'll get a bomb snail next to his eye. Phil said his girlfriend said that he's only allowed to get one more tattoo, and it has to be a daisy.
I don't
So
know
does
why
that
your
mean you're not
girlfriend
getting
does
any
any
more
pull.
tattoos, Phil? You don't seem like a daisy tattoo kind of guy.
Can only get one more tattoo. Seems like a bad thing to be told. Don't let me guide your life.
You'd get a daisy? Who's your girlfriend through the tattooing? Okay, working in the shop. I only seem to meet butterfly girls.
Butterflies? Rainbow farting unicorns?
JP's
There was
foot tattoo, the only one that made him cry. I haven't cried on any of mine. I didn't feel like any of them hurt. I mean, they all hurt a little, but not bad.
feet and hands are painful after the fact. They explode. They get all swollen.
I want one on my foot. Gabe, your wife wants you to get covered in tattoos.
Oh God.
JP's like, I have sensitive feet, okay? Lower back butterfly tattoo, and then they'd all leave.
Yeah, butterflies and fairies were a big thing when I was tattooing amongst women.
All of my tattoos have been unique designs where I've given them, the artist, like a very rough sketch of what I wanted, and then they took it and made it better, like way better.
That's a good way to do it, right? Bring in reference
And
art.
they all mean something. They're all very meaningful to me.
Bring in reference art, and a good artist will take it and run with it. Nowadays, it's weird because the big tattoo rush generated a tremendous amount of artists in the tattoo realm who can lay ink really well, but who can't draw to save their life.
Yeah, so they only do like the flash tattoos and the,
Yep. So the world of flash tattoos saw a big upswing in quality, but it was like, I have a tattoo, my Greedo tattoo on my leg, right, was done by a guy who couldn't draw to save his life, and I was amazed. You know, we had all committed. It was a friend of mine's brother, and we had all committed to get Star Wars Day, right, May 4th.
Yeah.
Tattoos, and we had, his brother was doing all the tattoos, and when we were going, I go, yeah, here's what I want, and this and that and the other, and I, do you want me to draw it up? And he goes, oh no, I got you. I was like, all right, cool. And then he was in the back, and he was back there for a long time, and he kept coming out going, what, do these roses work? And blah, blah. I was like, dude, just here, let me draw the rose for you. You can do it. He goes, no. And I went back there, and he was on Google Images, printing stuff out and tracing it and bringing it out. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? He's like, oh, I'm getting you your artwork. I was like, can you not draw? It worried the hell out of me. I was like, oh my God.
Liz has a freaking huge snake on her leg that she drew. It's pretty, but it almost ended your relationship. So has she had it the whole time, or like, did she have it when we met you guys? Because I don't remember. Easier to trace an outline and color than it is to actually draw.
Yeah, I just am. I have that old school mentality. I want my artist to be able to draw. Because as you're tattooing, in order to really work the design correctly, you got to know how to make the design fit the area.
Yeah.
It's not just putting the image down and saying "ta-da!" trace. Yeah. You have to go further than that. So it worries me.
John's Art Hub said, my son won the nation's championship in karate with his bow staff at 10 years old.
That's awesome.
I got a tattoo of a caricature of him doing karate in calibration or celebration to celebrate the national championship. That's awesome.
Sure, that's awesome.
A month into dating, she said she would get a small snake. Her artist convinced her to make it big, and she did not tell me, and it covered her whole leg. Oh my gosh.
Good for her.
My first tattoo that I got is teeny tiny. It's like that big on my ankle.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your ankle one, right?
Yeah, and my mom was very much against tattoos, and I was in college, so I didn't live at home. So anytime I saw her, I would just wear socks because it's on my ankle, and socks would cover it up. And then my friend was getting married, and I was I was the bridesmaid or the maid of honor, and my mom, of course, was going to be at the wedding because it was my best friend. And so I knew that I'm like, she's gonna see it. I don't want to ruin this wedding, so I better tell her. and then so she's there, and she was ironing my stepdad's shirt for the wedding. And I sat down and I looked at her. I'm like, I got to tell you something. And she stopped. She puts the iron down. She turns and she looks at me. And I said, and she's like, what? And I was like, you got to promise you're not going to get mad. Like, I've done something that you I know you didn't want me to do. And she's like, ugh, show me your tattoo. Like she knew. She's like, when you came in and sat down like that, I thought you were going to tell me that you had been arrested. Like she thought it was something like life-changing. And then as soon as she saw it, she's like, oh, it's so cute. And then she was all in favor of me getting as many as I wanted. Jade, your mom hated your tattoos until she met Chuck and he had tattoos. Then it was fine. Yeah. She kept it secret from my dad until I found my wedding dress. That's, yeah, same kind of thing. Stick and poke on your ankle, Shelby? Oh my gosh. My cousin had a stick and poke. She put it on her hand right here. And when she was like 14. And just a stick and poke, is that what you call it? It's where you poke and then you put ink, you rub ink on it. Like break a pen and rub ink
tattoo,
on it.
Yes.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh. And yeah, so she got it when she was like 14 and just got it removed.
Oh, recently?
Well, I mean, since I've known you.
Oh, wow, great.
Yeah. Tim got a jailhouse tattoo. That's basically the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. While skipping school when I was 14, my mom never saw it. My dad saw it immediately when I moved in with him at 15. Dipped the needle in ink first and then poked it.
Yeah,
Wrapped
using
thread around the
ballpoint
tip of the
pen
needle.
ink and
Yeah.
I was not smart enough to get a small one for my first one. And then mine was on the cover of the entertainment section of the newspaper.
Oh, that's right.
Before any of my family knew anything about it.
I'm gonna go lock up real quick. I'll be right back.
They did our band had an interview in the paper in Dallas, the Dallas Times Herald, back when it existed. It was the weekend that Tom Cruise's Days of Thunder came out. Anybody remember that? It was like I think it was a NASCAR driver. Is that right? And so Days of Thunder was coming out, and so the entertainment page was dedicated to that and our band. Like the front page of the entertainment section, and I had a couple other column articles in there. But so my picture of my tattoo is big, right above Tom or whatever his name is that I just say, Tom Cruise's head. Talking about Days of Thunder release weekend, or maybe it was the weekend or maybe it was the week right after Days of Thunder had hit the box office. Anyway, it's just funny because there's a picture of our band, my tattoo, and then Tom Cruise's head. I was like, for one point in time, I was larger than Tom Cruise. That ended the typical 80s movie. Oh, really? Yeah, that was my claim to fame. That I got top billing over Tom Cruise. The article was crap. The article was trying to make it seem like straight edge kids were the devil, so it didn't really paint us in a good light. It was when I learned that, oh, you mean newspaper people, when they want an interview, aren't very honest? Because the girl that did the interview was all hyping us up and, oh, we're really excited to talk about your band and all that, and then it really wasn't anything to do with our band. It was to do with the negative aspects of the punk rock scene in Dallas, Texas, and they just used our band as fodder to have the article. It was one of those, are they a gang? Is it a club? Is it just what kids are doing? Hilarious. That's how my family found out about my tattoo, most of them. And there was a girl I had a crush on in high school named Marcy. And her mother knew me, right? And her mother calls me on the phone, because it's back before, you didn't have cell phones and text messages. So her mother calls me. I was living at my grandmother's house. She calls me at my grandmother's house. and asked me what I've done. She was like, what have you done? Please say that's fake. I was like, who are you to call me and ask me about what I've done anyway? It's like, what are you talking about? Your crush. There was one girl that I had like a constant crush on from like It was like from, I don't know if it was my freshman year. I don't know if I knew who she was in my freshman year, but definitely my sophomore. Oh no, because it was sophomore, junior, and senior, and so definitely from my sophomore year onward, because we went to different junior highs. In Texas, middle school goes to ninth grade, and then you high school is 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? So and oh yeah, I had multiple crushes, but hers was like a constant one. Hers was a like my other big crush in high school. I got to go out on dates with. It broke my heart, but I at least got to date her for a minute. It was the age where being a punk rock kid was not cool, right? You were not going to get a date with a socialite girl, you know. That was like why movies like you know 16 Candles and stuff like that were popular, because it was that, you know, ugly duckling was never going to hit the popular crowd. But I enjoyed high school. I didn't mind high school. It was fun. The junior and senior year, I was the artist for the school newspaper, and they weren't ready for me. I was my teacher, or I say the teacher that I wasn't in journalism class. I would come and sit in the newsroom at the high school, and I was the artist, but I did not go to journalism class, and so I was an oddball in the class, in that I was the only one that wasn't really known by anybody outside of just that hour, and but the woman in charge of the paper was the teacher, and she loved me. I was like super like out of control editorial artwork punk rock kid, and was able to keep it, you know, tasteful enough for the kids in high school to get along with it. But I brought that and showed it one day on stream many years ago. Who was here for that? Have any of you guys been around long enough to remember seeing that? I found a copy of, like, I don't remember what it was. It was like a compendium of all of the big news articles from our school newspaper during the year, and it had a lot of my artwork in there, and it was pretty funny. But I remember finding that. It's like a weird blue perfect bound uh, book that they gave to us. Pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know if anybody here was there for that, but I've shown that off on stream before. I don't know if I could find it again, but pretty funny. That was the same age that I was doing the album covers that Jen showed off, right? Jen showed you the Filth and Scum album cover that was so funny. Around those times. I really like this color up against this armor. Like I said, I think I got to darken the green up now. I think the green might be a little bright up against this gold, but we'll see. Not ready to commit to that decision. You remember for high school was being at school at 5 a.m. for swim practice and having practice right after school let out? You there more than the teachers? Yeah, sport practice could be really bad because the whole before, like, you know, if you had to weight train before school and then practice the actual sport after school, like football, tough. Tough. Well, it's like I hated high school. We're not a gang. Goes on to found a paint company with people like us in chat. Now we're a gang, but we weren't a gang back then. Now we're a lovable gang of hobbyists. Don't mess with us. Punk rock and D&D, Satan's game. By that point, I wasn't playing D&D anymore. D&D was a small fad for me when I was very young. It got me into miniatures, and miniatures existed after D&D, but D&D was never really my thing. Past the little group that I had, or that was put together, I didn't have it. The guy down the street did. He played D&D until the day he died. He'd passed away here like 2 or 3 years ago at a convention, and somewhere in like maybe San Antonio or something. I don't remember. Maybe Las Vegas. Oh, it was in Las Vegas. He passed away at a convention, at the convention in Las Vegas, had a heart attack and passed away, DMing for a big event in Las Vegas. So he literally, the guy that introduced me to D&D and hence introduced me to miniatures and miniature painting, did D&D until the day he died. Literally. His name was Matt Sims. I don't know. He was from Texas. He was a big thing in Texas for all the D&D campaigns and things like that. Like every show. But he found me via like Facebook or some social media thing again. He was like, "Oh my God, you're still painting miniatures." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You had something to do with that." He's like, "Holy hell, that's awesome."
It wasn't the guy that watched the stream. That was a different guy.
No, that was Craig Tate.
Okay.
Who came in to stream.
Yeah.
He still comes in every now and then.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, he played BattleTech with me. He was one of the guys, one of the 4 that went to the Star Trek convention that I talk about, where we played BattleTech and won the tournament. I won my first painting competition there. We beat the old guys, and they were all pissed off because a bunch of upstart kids came in, and 3 of them, it was when BattleTech didn't have the clans, it was only the Inner Sphere, and so you ran a lance of 4, and you had to have a minimum of 2 people running your deal, and so most of the teams were 2 people, each running 2 mechs. Well, we had 4 people, and I was the only one that had ever played. And the other 3, I was just like, what would be bitching is if we had a guy for each mech. And so I was telling everybody what to do the whole time, and we won. And so everybody's pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, this kid comes in, and he's not really a 2-man team. He's got 4 people, but 3 of them are stooges. Everybody's pissed off.
How old were you?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't drive. So probably
early
13, 14, something like that.
So fun.
Younger. Would you highlight a push button like a gemstone? Yeah, Sapo. It's like a flat face. It's a flat facet, a push button itself. But depending if it's a square, then it highlights more like what a traditional gemstone thought of a gemstone. You imagine a gemstone that gets sliced across its face. A push button could do that. If it's round, then it has a cylinder as a base, so you highlight the sides as a cylinder, and then the face like a gemstone, which, depending on your light source, may mean that the face is completely one brighter color. It depends on how you have your light positioned. Actually, how you would go about highlighting that. But yeah, thinking in the right direction for sure. The rotating crush, the one you keep going back to. I love how your crush is changed weekly. That's called puberty.
Yeah. That's true.
That's literally just puberty kicking in. What survives, the girl who you paid attention to all through your puberty and came out the other end and still thought that she'd be the one, that's your crush. The rest of them don't count.
So I have a great story related to this. I got an invitation to a wedding recently. The wedding is going to be in March, and it's from 2 of my former students.
Yeah.
Who met in my class as 8th graders, and they are now, they were in my class in 2010.
That's so awesome.
And they're now.
That's happened twice, right?
It's happened, yes. It's happened multiple times. So, yeah, my very first, well, actually, that's not, my second year teaching, 2 of my students are married now. And then,
and they were in the same classroom. They knew each other from that point onward. That's such a great story.
Yep. And they had gone
because that was in the years where you were doing like underprivileged kids too. So that was something they found in a situation that was already bad for them. So that's even better.
Yeah.
That's how awesome is that?
They were just best friends.
Yeah.
There's 2 girls. They were best friends in school. And then they, went their separate ways. The one of them got married and she was in the army for a long time.
And then they circled back around and found each other later on in life. Oh, that's fantastic. Even better story.
Yep. I think through social media, that's how they found me, was through social media.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like one of them found me on MySpace.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I've been connected with them since then. But then now, the ones now
Jen
that
had
are
a
getting
MySpace
married,
page. She's really old.
I am old. So the ones that are getting married in March, she sent me a message on Instagram, and she's like, "Hey, we would like to send you an invitation to our wedding if you're comfortable with that, because your class was a big part of our story." And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
"I would be honored. Send it to here's my address. Send it to me." And so she did. She sent me the save the date, and I just got the wedding invitation like a week or so ago. And they do this like the thing now is you don't have to mail back an RSVP.
You just go
they'll have a
online.
wedding website. So I go onto their wedding website and I'm reading their little story about it, and they talked about me in it.
What?
Yeah, it was like she wrote it, and she so it's from her point of view, and she talks about how their story began when they were 14 years old in 8th grade at Highland Junior High, and they would walk to my class together every day, and he would write her little love notes in my class, which I remember, and I was like, that's okay. I kind of looked the other way because they were adorable.
Because they were adorable.
And
preferential teacher treatment right there, folks. Bane of our existence as kids.
Don't you ever let a teacher tell you they don't have a favorite student. They 100% do. And so,
liars who
this
lie.
whole narrative on their wedding webpage talking about how they would walk to my class together, and he would write her love notes in class, and he did a little fake, because we had it was English, so super creative and fun and really interactive, and he fake proposed to her in that class.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so now and she also said that they've been writing love notes to each other since they were 14, because she lived for a while, after college she moved to Seattle. She lived in Seattle for a couple of years, so they were long distance, but they've been together since they were 14.
That's crazy.
It's a pretty crazy story. They're very, very sweet. I loved her. I called her my fake daughter when she was in my class. She called me her fake mom because we were a lot alike, and she was great.
Now, who was the girl at the coffee shop that we ran into?
That's her best friend.
Okay.
Who is also married, but she didn't marry. She married a guy from the coffee shop, and they moved to, I think they live in Virginia now.
Jen is famous in that area of town.
Yeah.
We went to a rando coffee shop just out one weekend, and this girl's like, "Miss Hoffman! Miss Hoffman!" I think she said Mrs.
Yeah, they. And then the kid at the Dunkin' Donuts too.
I was like, she ain't a Mrs. She ain't giving me a ring yet.
This fellow wants to know if I'd ever want to go back to teaching. No, I don't think so. I miss working with the kids for sure, but
she has me now.
Yeah.
I'm enough of a handful.
I still work with a kid.
She works with a very childish boy now. Yeah. So
no, I don't really like all the changes that have happened in education, so probably not. Thought about teaching since you left the National Park Service, since you have your MA in history, but the state I'm in isn't very good for teachers, and I'm skeptical about teaching at a private school. So yeah, private schools are gonna probably not pay very much, and unfortunately, I don't know that there are many states that are good for teachers, to be honest. That's probably not true. I think there are some that really value their teachers, but Arizona,
of course, those are going to be highly competitive.
Not one of them. I might go back to teaching. It deals with chat for 2 hours, but I've decided not to. It was a big transition for me to, move out of the mindset of working with kids to working with adults, which I do now, and
careful.
It was I had a hard time.
Quite a few of
just because I was so accustomed to speaking as the teacher, to my main experience was 8th graders, so talking to adults like teenagers turns out is not something that people love.
It's tough, right? It is tough. But you have grown a ton doing it, so.
Oh yeah,
but it is difficult, right?
Yeah.
When I can see, and it was a transition that I had no visibility on. I didn't even think about until we had to, navigate that sea.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, you're used to the way interactions go with kids,
Yep. And teaching something, or training someone. So I was also a trainer. So I trained teachers after, which was different because, again, it was still in that wheelhouse of, we're talking education. So it didn't feel like I was talking to them as, the same.
You're
they
able
had
to
the same
share
experience that I had.
experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah. That experience share helps a ton.
Yeah.
It puts you on the same level playing field, and it makes the language very similar.
Yeah. Phil said I'm basically a child, but you're not, though. You're an adult, and yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like yes. Phil, me, Gabe's more adult.
Yeah.
Gabe's kind of an adult. Probably gonna be mad I said that.
JP Gray said my dream job was a math teacher, but then I grew up and left that idea with my grill.
Oh, you people.
That's all right, Tim. Marcos Sares. Hello, everyone. What is your opinion on the Kenneth Smith case? I don't know what this is. Is this spam?
Huh? Does that have a link?
No,
Who's Kenneth Smith?
I don't know. But we
Does that
don't
have to do with
typically talk
artwork?
about legal or political issues here very often.
Is it an artwork thing?
I don't know.
Is it the 3D printing guy that got sued by Games Workshop? That's relevant. Who is Kenneth Smith and what did he paint?
Third base, is that like a who's on first? It's not from the art topic. Okay,
I don't know about it. I don't know about it.
We don't know. Rather talk about flatbread. Pineapple goes on pizza.
Yeah, I'm not familiar
And
with
Brussels sprouts are terrible.
I did read a lot today about a particular lawsuit that came up and was showing how GW is pursuing the people who, through their Patreons, have been duplicating GW's IP, and they actually had it stick. It never saw finalization in court. They muscled the guy until all his money was gone, basically. But it's a
Something to
precedent
do
that's
with-
now being set.
With Alabama. No. Nope.
The guy had to give up his Patreon, or chose to give up his Patreon. I feel like he's probably forced.
Game Delay said if Kenneth Smith has good videos about conceptualizing light over a three-dimensional surface, I'll give his stuff a look.
Our needs are few and very simple, but they all include how to put the paint on the model.
Yeah. That's what we do.
I really hate complex shapes like this iron halo. They're not easy. Trying to figure out where all the paint goes. Dang it. Why
Are
is
you
it
going
all
to
this
continue,
easy?
or is it something you're going to try and figure out today?
What's that?
The what you're painting. The
Oh,
thing
we
that
can be
you
done.
Just said you hate.
We can be done in just a second.
Okay. Das Fizzla said you can cut it off.
No, I put it on there. I like it for the model, right? I just don't necessarily care about it from a painter's perspective.
Someone on Trapped Under Plastic Facebook group trying to defend that guy, and nobody was having it.
Yeah, it's tough, right? I don't defend him either. If you rip off somebody's IP, you kind of knew the ground you were skating when you started. The whole concept of him not charging for it, so it should be legal, is not true. That's not how that works, right? A lot of people are under the misconception that theft of IP, if you're not selling it directly, then you can't be, it's just derivative work and stuff. But that's not the case. You don't have that. If that were the case, then people could have had subscription services to watch movies they've bootlegged for years.
I was just gonna say, even
not how that works.
It's completely not the same realm. But Napster was just like, oh, I just shared it.
Yeah,
I had
peer sharing,
and I put it on the internet.
That's a great example.
With
is that
my
nobody
friends.
really charged? Napster was free, but it was also illegal.
Right.
Right. And so it's not the way that works.
Yeah.
Right. IP infringement, copyright law is a lot more nuanced than simply I made a thing. It looks exactly like a Tyranid, but because I didn't charge you money for it, I'm okay.
Oh, gee. But you're a licensed reseller, though, JP, aren't you? Or are you not?
What's that?
He said, I have Pokemon all over a van. I don't like talking about this.
Well, that's also a thing. Vendors have been sued by using the IP without the license, but if you're a dealer, I think you can probably get away with it. If all you deal with is third-party sell of stuff, and do you sell new? Like, do you work with a Pokemon company directly?
He said, yes, I have the IP rights. It was a joke.
Good.
I didn't figure the wrap place would want to get involved if you didn't have permission.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right?
Yeah.
Like, would they
Pokemon
even...
dealer sounds sketchy. It is.
A lot of places
Have
will
you met
demand
JP
that you
Gray?
have the rights to use the artwork. I mean, hell, I couldn't even reproduce a lot of like rule books I wanted to get printed out off a PDF because you used to take it to Kinko's back when it was Kinko's, and Kinko's would be like, no, this is copyrighted and you're not this person, so we can't reprint this. I was always like, are you kidding me? I want to print this file out. I want a copy of it for my buddy. But they wouldn't print it. Back in the day, they wouldn't print it. Now I don't think they care. You can just walk in and use the machine, and I don't think they care about it much. But
No, I still think just drive back and forth in front of a school. You don't have to slow down. You don't have to stop. Don't like stare at them or anything. Just drive back and forth. It's fine.
He's selling the cards out of his van. Hey, kid, come here. You want some Pokemans? Help me with this couch. Do not drive that van by grade schools. Jen is putting up all the awesome links in chat there for you guys to check out. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you're new here, please hit that follow button. We stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona. We'd love to see you back and hanging out with us. Obviously, we're working more on the Lion. We'll be pushing to get him to some state of completion. I'm having a good time working on him. So we'll continue to work on the gold a little bit. And then we'll go back once we get the gold to a spot where I'm comfortable with the initial highlighting and sketching on it. And then we'll go back and work on the black armor and the green cloak to dial in all the brightness the way we want it. I'm still thinking that the green is probably a little bright for what I'm looking for. I probably want it a little dirtier because I'm really digging the kind of tarnished gold look, and then the deep blue black of the armor isn't going to give me a way to fight with that green. And the green will wind up being some of the brightest stuff on the model, which was not the case because it's it's fabric, and fabric typically wouldn't be that way. It's not out of the question that it couldn't be some shiny fabric, but I haven't painted it that way, so I'll dull it down. We'll do another coat of the glaze over the top or something like that. So we'll have some fun with that, but we'll be dialing him in over the next few days. Still,
Hooper Triplet, that's awesome. That recently relocated, and no small part of my decision about picking a new FLGS is whether they carry Pro Acryl.
Hooper, that's awesome. I hope they're a great store. If they carry us, they must be.
They must be.
But check out all the links. You'll find the FLGS, and the store link will point you towards where you can get your own Monument Hobbies gear. Thank you for the support. Anybody that's using our products, we love you. And remember, though, that coming by here, you're free to ask questions about anything you may be doing in the painting world. We're here to just help you get a better confidence and grasp on your own painting situation so you can have more fun while you're doing it. Check out our YouTube and the Discord for all the social stuff. The Discord's a great community of over 3,000 artists just like you, where you can come share ideas, get inspired, tell jokes, hang out, and make new friends. Great place.
Ghost
We'd love
Hunter,
to see you
you
there.
are one of them.
And then, what's that?
Ghost Hunter always says over 3,000 amazing artists.
And me. Well,
you're one of them.
You're one of them, buddy, whether you like it or not.
And
we'll drag you kicking and screaming into
angry
greatness.
hockey puck lady to prove it.
The good Harold's like, meet me behind Taco Bell. I'll show you my wares. Nothing good ever came from that statement.
Oh, no.
And then the YouTube channel, you'll see sometime after, like within a week or generally a week to 10 days after a show like today, that'll be posted up to YouTube, as well as shorts and tutorials and outtakes. So check out the YouTube channel for more content, and we'd love to see you back. Stick around. We are going to find somebody to raid for more hobby goodness as we go off into the evening on this. It's hump day, right? Yeah. Wednesday. So it's hump day evening. It's crazy. Wednesday, halfway through the week. So stick around. Show some love in the chat we wind up in. Say hello. Give them a follow. It's free. And we'd love to see you back here tomorrow. Have a great evening. Adios, gang.
Bye, everyone.